Hello and welcome back to Jared Nielsen Photography. I am Jared Nielsen, and we're going to go through a bit of editing of the Perth Summer League. So first of all, go give them a follow. Shout out to them. They've been putting on a massive 16 weeks of season. But let's start with a little montage of selecting the photos. There's 140 for that one game, which is insane and a lot. So let's run through that. You'll have a quick look of everything that I take in the original settings off the camera. Best thing about this place or doing an indoor sport is nothing changes. Once you figure out your settings for it, you can just run it the whole game. It's lighting doesn't change where you get outdoor sport. You might lighting because I am level with them as well. They don't get interfere with the light where something like basketball, because you change and then you change up and down, suddenly you're going to get the light directly in the shot, and or they're going to block the light and suddenly become dark. I'm lucky enough to hold down with them. I stand right next to the bench, so it makes things a lot easier setting wise. It's practically shooting in auto once you figure it out because nothing's going to change on you, which makes a lot of fun. Here we are. We are near the end of this little thing here. You'll see it will end with our scoreboard. Then know the final score. So there's a little sneak peek before the scoreboard comes up. All right, let's jump into it. Now over here, we notice custom filter. I've got it set to 5 stars because that's what I've just did. I've gone and marked them all 5 stars, so I know which ones out of all of them I want to edit. I did unfairly get to 62 photos. That maybe culled down a little bit more. I normally end up putting about 40. I know it's finals, so people, unfortunately, like the Joes, have been eliminated. This is their last chance to get in front of the camera until they're part of the Summer League, which should be starting next month, possibly. Because we've now got the semis next week, and then we've got the best of 3 from the winner of those two. But let's just go through here. You'll notice it's a little on the piss. Also, going through this, I've had people come up to me and go, "What? Post every photo that you take." As you would have seen in the montage, it didn't quite work out, and then that's going to put a massive task on me. So we do cull it down, and you'll also see some of the things of unfortunate stuff that happens where there was a good play. They go, oh, "Did you see this?" or "Did you get that one?" But you'd have the skater in the way, and that's what we've just culled out of the original photos. So we'll start with setting them up. We want it as a 4x5 because that's most people are going to view on their phones, and that's the aspect that's better, especially for Instagram. So you don't want it that square. We want it more of that rectangle, and we want it there. And then you'll see it was a bit of a crooked photo, mainly because I've got to move for players on and off the bench, even though this is the first photo, so this was near the start of the game. But also, throughout, or I've got to move around something, and I will turn. You'll see later, instead of turning my head, but leaving the camera straight, I've just turned everything with me, and made a horrible looking photo. But this is what we do later in post. We'll fix it up, so when you see the final product, it looks great. But we will straighten that up, and I'll show you some little point outs on that later. The lines on that grid. Rules of third. You don't want him here. You can see he's kind of moving to the left. So we're going to put him there. Plus, everyone knows my watermark goes in this bottom corner. So if you have a look at that, it's 4.66. We'll touch on that later anyway. Now, we're going to have to fix it up. Let's try 0.5. Maybe we'll see how the rest goes. If we need to adjust that later. We will lift the shadows up anyway, because his head is facing down. So we want to give him a bit more, so you can kind of see himself. Not that you really can see himself with the helmet on, but and they know themselves. They'll look at it and go, "Oh, that's me," or whatever. We will drop the blacks a bit, just for the skates and the gloves. Gives that bit of difference between the brightest point and the darkest point. The ice will change later as well, so that will become some difference. We'll add a bit of contrast, bit of vibrance. make those colours a little bit better. Make the blues and yellows on this one pop. And then the other team being the brown, we'll see how they go. Alright, well, from here, we'll add a bit of clarity. Now, this at the moment is already about twice as big as you're going to see on your screen. Now, because we're indoor and the lighting can be pretty bad, you're going to get a lot of noise in your photo, which you can now see all your dots, which we don't like you guys to see, but why not? So I just want to add a bit of noise reduction, make it a bit better. It also will be sharpened when I export it, so it will help clear those up a little more. Plus also, when I put it on to Facebook and Instagram, it's gonna go down. So shameless plug, I'll follow Jared Nilsson Photography. Get that out there. But like this, at twice the size, you can't, there's nothing there. Get a bit of reflections. I could be picky with that, which you can do later with the new distraction removal and get rid of reflections in there, but it's a sports one. I only see it because I see it there. Now you're probably going to see it because I brought it up, because that's what always happens. But when you scroll, it's not going to be that visible. From here, we will right click. What some people can do is add a preset down, which is over here somewhere. Here we are. And I can create that as a preset. There's one that was previously made. You can see the slight difference in it. I'll probably have to update it, so I'll have to delete that one. But because it's inside and the lighting's always the same, week in, week out, I just walk in, put my settings in. I will white balance off the ice after it's been cleaned, for the fact that I want that to be white. If you don't do it and try to get that auto white, because he's got a nice white one, that will come up a lot grey, like that bit there along the bottom, and it looks horrible in photos. Took a couple of rounds to figure that one out, but this is things you don't really think of when you're going in. But yeah, don't need that. There's all the little work we've done on the history. But what we can do is we will copy, and we want it to copy the changes that I made. Now, as I said, I straightened it. I do not want to copy straight and angle, because one photo might not need as much. One photo might need a lot more, which is okay, we change it. But the ones that don't need enough have then been straightened over, and then I've got to pull them back, which is annoying. So we just don't worry about that. I'm going to check each one anyway as we go down, because I may need to make a few changes depending on what's going on as the ice changes conditions. So we'll copy that. We are happy. There's your next one. There's your full shot. Distracted out here. This moment, he just looks like a simple stop. The goalie was having a little hoppy dance slide across, so he will know this image. So will some of the people on the ice. But keeping it simple, we just go back and we'll paste our settings. Now it's put all those in for us, which I'm quite happy with. Again, we only need to straighten them a little bit. Then we figure out, using our rule of thirds, do we want him here? Is that going to be too much of a distraction? So maybe it doesn't matter if your stick has been cut off. We just want to show the story of, there's the stop, there's the guy coming in trying to go for the goal or trying to get the rebound, and then that will be it. Bit of ice being shaved up, which is kind of what we want. Now let's have a look at here, just to bring this up to you. 1.89 on the straightening compared to the previous one of 4.66. That's why I said we don't copy it, because it just changes from photo to photo. And then sometimes I might have that chance, the play's not so fast, I've managed to set myself in, then I've got it straight. If I copy that, I then have to bring it back around. So either way, I'm still touching each photo, and that's what I do. Here, this is where I said before, I stand at the bench, he's sitting on there, I could not get, my line of sight was blocked. So I've had to lean out into the opening here. Of course, my head's turned because I can't step out. Instead of just giving it, I've just twisted it. We'll get it up to be sure. Instead of holding it straight, I've went and took flip the camera with myself. It happens. You don't think about it. I'm in a hurry to get the shot. Hence the reason why we get it. Now we're going to paste that back in there. There we are. There's the bar you can come hang out with. It's a lot warmer. There's the previous games people. Well, let's straighten her up. Like that. And there we go. You can get a bit of that. I can try to bring them over a bit more, get that bit more of a depth. You can see the preview, what it would look like here. Or you can go like this and get a bit more that way with the battle. I want to get a bit more in the middle. Now that vibrance is obviously a little too high because they've normally a dark brown. That has gone up very, so let's cut it back down a bit. Maybe even bring that shadows. See, there we are. That's a bit better now. So let's update our development settings from that. Because the last ones were really just running off the white. This is what happens. Now we got the actual color and we want it in there. Next photo. Here we are. We're going to paste the photo. Once I find where it is on the list, there we are. And not as much straightening up on that one. I will also run the straightening off what's in the background. Not try to bounce it off his flex and his stick because that's just not going to work for us. But there we go. Now each sport you'll know, as you've seen other people, they all have a particular thing. Football, you want the kick, like the AFL football, you're going to want the kick. When it comes to like American football, you want to see the fighting through and the powering with running with the ball. When it comes to ice hockey, this is one thing. Get that flex stick. They flick that fast that a lot of photos will be a bit blurry at the end because the camera doesn't keep up with it. Because if you increase that shutter speed, it's going to be very dark. You're going to have to change your settings into a different ISO and get a lot more of that noisy grain stuff behind it, which is then going to make your post work a lot harder. So I found a little good 1/1000th of it is a good shutter. You will get that. Maybe you get the blur and you get the puck blur because that thing will fly. So having that, we're all happy. So to make it easier, instead of doing it one by one, we will, next image, we'll select all our photos that's in the list and we'll paste all our settings at once. This is going to make, once you figure it out, a lot better. Because now all you have to do, if you have a look at the thumbnails as they load, they're all being cropped into the position I want for the socials. And also it's adding all my adjustments. So all I have to do is just go bang. Let's have a look. Slide it over a little bit more. The thing is also, that's gone on a bit of an angle. So it's always going to be that out. And it's not that a lot. And make sure we can, if there's too much ice, we'll bring it in a bit. But leave that, I always leave that corner because there's your watermark. Let's go on. There's a bit of a play where they're both gone down. So before I end this, we'll go through, as I was mentioned, things that you want. A non-ice hockey person, a bit of skate, that's always good, a bit of skill there. Your goalies, so there's the puck off the ground there, that's always a lot of fun. You do lose the stick in the ice sometimes. But like a little battle like this, a standard person doesn't see too much about it, but the hockey people will, and that's where you try to get to them. But a few other points, or the depth of field here. Look what's going on as the goalie had an issue going on. Get the line change. You will get the nice one there, but when it comes to goalies, you do try to get the puck. You can see that's definitely a lot straighter. And I'll also move it, get that depth, see where he's looking. You know he's looking down there. There he is. Good old Liam. But ones that you do want to see, if I can find which one it is, I have got a lovely one with the puck going near him. In the previous one I posted, you would have seen there it is. He missed the puck in the catch. He flicked it up. Lucky for him, this was a miss. And you would have seen in the preview, the photo after it actually has the bottle in the air as it's hit the net. That's what you want when the puck goes in. Little misses like this, they're still great. You want to see that movement and that action shot. No one's posing for their photos. Well, there is one of the Rizzlers. Whenever he sees the camera pointed at him, he always stops and he'll smile or do whatever the young people do, which is funny. And I'm like, don't look at me with the camera. Look at the puck. Stuff like this. Watch, see where he's going. That makes things a lot harder. But I've got to now go through it. Look, there's him going breakdancing for the Olympics. Which maybe we should tell him not to worry about anymore because breakdancing has now been removed. But I will now go through all these photos and then make my scorecard. Scorecard you would have seen is in my previous video how I made that from after I do all this process and sort these photos out. I'll get the winner. I'll look for a good solo shot of a play that's happening so I can cut it down. It's all in the last video. So go check that one out. Let me know if there's anything else you want to see when it comes to going through these Summer League photos. Also, go give the Perth Summer League a follow on their socials. We've got a big this actual Summer League now is coming up. This is the Winter League for us. The Summer League's going to have 10 teams, so there's going to be a lot of photos coming through, a lot of games. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 games a week. I don't think I can cover them all. That's a lot of games. But I will get there. I will be making a new scoreboard. I change it up every season. I don't know how I'm going to beat this next one because I've got a few ideas. We'll see how they work. But again, we'll just see what's going on. So thank you. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. You can see the finished photos and the rest of the season, plus the other stuff I get up to. You've got a bit of landscape going on, which I do turn into a calendar at the end of the year. So if you don't know about trying to send overseas, but if you're in Australia, that's good for you. I can post them. There's also model work and some cars if you're into it. Whenever I can get out there on a weekend, take the camera and we'll go out and have some fun. So thank you for watching. Subscribe. Let me know what else you want to see work on in these behind the scenes videos and my own style into it. Plus follow that Facebook and Instagram so you can check out some of my other work. It's not, to be fair, it looks like it's flooded with this because I'm doing a lot of posts because each game I do is their own individual post. But thank you, follow, like, and subscribe to the channel so you can catch up with more videos, and let's hope to keep these going and see you out there. See ya.